Hey, how we doing guys? Thanks for tuning in to my review of The Lost Bear on PSVR. And if you want more PSVR and sometimes PS4 content, please like and subscribe, it's very much appreciated. As there were no new PSVR releases this week, I decided to pick two titles that I would like to revisit many months on from launch. My Shooty Fruity review was a safe pick, especially with my love for wave shooters, but for my second choice, I wanted to choose something that I felt I took a chance on. When I first saw news of Oddbug Studios' debut title, it had me massively intrigued, but possibly for all the wrong reasons. Early into the PSVR's life cycle, titles were predominantly throwing you into a 3D world from a first person or godlike perspective, and as such, I wondered how a 2D platformer would translate. Within a few minutes of donning my headset, it was very apparent that the answer was surprisingly well. Picking it up for a second time, I soon realised that none of that initial charm has been lost. The setup is quite simple. Playing as a young girl named Walnut, a strange creature known as the Toy Snatcher steals her teddy, forcing her to venture into a world that gets stranger and darker the further she goes. The story is very A to B, allowing the hand-drawn art style and on-screen action to propel the narrative. Talking of the art style, The Lost Bear has a cardboard cutout look, with character animations looking as if their joints have clear pivot points, held together with butterfly pins for that extra lo-fi look. But this isn't to say that this is a detriment to the game, it actually gives it a unique look right off the bat. Environments are suitably detailed, bringing the game to life using VR in subtle yet effective ways. Step further into the forest, and the eyes of the dark trees menacingly glow. It's these touches that help sell Oddbug's world, with you as a solitary active player affecting the story in a reactionary theatre. Music and environmental effects are atmospheric, ranging from acoustic guitar melodies to lumbering swells in the darker portions of the game, with intonation and on-screen gestures conveying emotion and impending action. Even for a 2D platformer, mechanics are very basic. Utilising the DualShock 4, your inputs will be relatively minimal. Jumping is solid, if unremarkable, while puzzles are telegraphed and clearly signposted. Some areas will follow the trial and error method before allowing you to progress, with the odd cheap death proving frustrating in what is a relatively relaxing game. Certain sections will require you to indulge in motion controls, and for the most part they work. However, on occasion some feel slightly gimmicky and awkward, threatening that immersion factor somewhat. On the face of it, The Lost Bear will present you with very little in the way of a challenge, but I don't think that's the point. Everything is purposefully rudimentary, with the primary objective of the game to submerge you into this strangely atmospheric setting. By stripping the gameplay back to its core, the developers want you to have a vested interest in the world, something that I can confidently say they've achieved throughout the scant 1 or 2 hour runtime. There aren't really any secrets to uncover, or extra incentives to replay the game more than once, apart from the trophies. But the price point is more than justified considering the unique little adventure we've been given. Unfortunately for trophy hunters, there's no platinum at the end of our enchanting journey, but with 12 trophies that are mainly progression based, you'll most likely end up with a good percentage, especially if you find all the collectibles and complete some of the miscellaneous trophies. You could obtain all the trophies in about 2 hours or one run through, as long as you go for the no deaths trophy. You might want to save this for a second playthrough though, or use some guides as playing blinded will make this slightly tricky. As such, the 100% completion difficulty rolls in at a 2 out of 10. As mentioned earlier, I felt like I took a chance purchasing The Lost Bear, but ultimately it was the small Manchester based dev team of Oddbug who took the biggest chance. The game has no right to work as well as it does in VR, but it convinced me that virtual reality games can have a broader scope than the viewpoints and genres that we've become used to.